Hi Naline, welcome to your reading. This is going to be for 30 minutes. Okay, so for the first question that you have, you want to focus on your finances and you want to know if there's any changes coming up. So I'm going to use this deck right here. Okay, are there any changes coming to Naline's finances? Are there any changes coming to Naline's finances? Are there any changes coming to Naline's finances? Any changes to Naline's finances? Any changes coming up for Naline's finances? Any changes coming to Naline's finances? Any changes coming up for Naline's finances? Any changes coming up for Naline's finances? Okay, I don't know if you saw that, but a card just like literally it flew out of the deck. And it's this one right here, and this is definitely change. The Eight of Wands is like, it's a lot of excitement over some type of development, some type of change, and it does represent an anticipated change, or something that you've been waiting for and kind of hoping for a long time. So this is very positive that it jumped for you. Let me go ahead and put it back. Let me give it another quick shuffle. Are there any changes coming up for Naline's finances? Any changes coming up Naline's finances? Any changes coming up Naline's finances? Changes coming up Naline's finances. Okay, so let's cut the deck and let's see what comes up for you. Any changes coming up Naline's finances? Okay, so this is what you have for the first 9 cards. There is kind of like a message here of waiting, because remember you had the Eight of Wands jump for you, and I told you that card, it does represent change, like something coming in for you that you've been anticipating for some time. And the Eight of Wands always represents waiting, and now you get the Three of Wands, which does tell you that, you know, the best is yet to come. But the three and the Two of Wands and the Eight of Wands are all about waiting. I mean, you don't have the Two of Wands, but you have the Three of Wands, which is telling you that your time will come. This is all about perfect timing, the perfect scenario, because there is, you know, a new path for you here. You have the Ace of Wands. Now, I know that I'm just looking at what I wrote for your questions. That one of the questions that you had was about your employment, as far as like any changes coming up in your employment or advances, because the Ace of Wands does represent like a whole new path for you. It's like a whole new life, a new opportunity, a clean slate, but there is kind of waiting around this. Like, this is telling you that there's a perfect timing for, you know, for this big opportunity to come up for you. You also have the Seven of Wands here. So the Seven of Wands is saying that you may have to fight for this. You may literally, I mean, you have someone here. I mean, it could be you. I'm going to get a confirmation card. You have a fire sign. So this would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. It could be someone else that, you know, kind of maybe at work. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's you, because, I mean, the Queen of Wands makes sense with the Seven of Wands, which is this confrontational energy. This is having to take action. So this ties in actually with the Queen of Wands. So if you want to kind of, you know, see changes in your finances, in your career, there's a need to like really, you know, confront certain issues. Perhaps, you know, making more money at work, because there is this message of waiting here, but also here. The Knight of Pentacles represents slow progress. I mean, I feel like there's some type of change you need to make. And it's not just one card, it's in several places. Because you have the Knight of Pentacles, which is slow progress, and you have stuck energy around your finances. You have the Two of Swords, which means that there is some type of decision or action that you need to take as far as your finances. Or, you know, things will stay as they are. This is stuck energy until you kind of make a decision, take action. And actually, you know, that's what the Queen of Wands represents. She represents taking action, going after what you want, self-confidence, enthusiasm. If you don't do that, she's here, you know, that enthusiastic, fiery energy, and there's slow progress around her, slow movement, and then there's stuck energy, kind of refusing to do something. So ask yourself, like, what is it that maybe you need to do around your finances? Like, what decision or action that maybe you really don't want to do? Because that's what this card represents. There's a whole new path for you that will make, you know, it will increase your finances. Because you have the Four of Wands, which does represent financial stability. You kind of having a firm foundation as far as your home. And just feeling, you know, a sense of like, you know, things are stable and I'm in a good place. I know you asked about your love life. This could even have something to do, I mean, you have the soulmate card. I know we're not asking about love. It could have something to do with, you know, a relationship, but also the Two of Cups represents harmony. I feel like you're, you know, there is a comfortable place for you as far as your finances, you know, where you have the Knight of Swords here. Things could change for you, you know, very quickly as far as your finances. I feel like there is some type of like, I mean, you have two twos back to back, Two of Swords, and then technically the next card was the Two of Cups. The twos have to do with decisions, choosing between two things, two people, two outcomes. So asking about a career. This could be maybe there's a choice of career. Again, Two of Swords, Two of Cups. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, there's something that you need to confront. I don't think this is someone else. Let me get a confirmation card for her. Why has the Queen of Wands come up for Naline as far as her finances? It's you. Yeah, because I mean, let me see here. Yeah, you're Scorpio. This is definitely you. It's like a crystal clear confirmation card. You are the Queen of Wands. You need to be the Queen of Wands to increase your finances. And again, she is fiery, determined, self-confident, goes after what she wants. If you don't do that, there's going to be very slow movement around your finances improving. And there's, you know, stuck energy here. So, you know, if you make that decision to be the Queen of Wands, I do see, you know, financial stability here for you. You being in a very, you know, good place. A very, you know, this is harmony, a sense of, you know, kind of peace with the Two of Cups when it's not about love. Things change very quickly. You also have two Knights. I just realized. Knight of Swords here. Knight of Pentacles. It's the Knights do represent change and movement. So there is change around your finances. There's just something that you need to face head on here. Something that you need to confront. Let me get three more from the same deck. Any changes coming up for Naline's finances? You have the Ten of Wands, Six of Swords, Nine of Swords. So, I mean, the Ten of Wands does mean that you're getting tired of kind of maybe hoping for changes in your finances. The Ten of Wands is feeling really overburdened. Could also be maybe that you're overworked. Ask yourself if you feel like you're kind of burnt out, you know, kind of physically, for maybe, you know, working, you know, having too much on your plate. Because that's what the Ten of Wands represents, heaviness, a heavy burden. And then you've got a lot of worry here, a lot of anxiety. It could be maybe that there needs to be a change in your career, which I'm going to look into because there's like a whole new path for you here. And then here, the Six of Swords, this is telling you that there will be change. This is a card of change, but it does mean that you need to get away from a kind of a toxic situation or toxic environment. So ask yourself, are things at work, like, you know, are they, you know, negative? Is there a negative person? Is it a boss, a co-worker? Is it how you feel at work? Maybe the difficult decision is kind of, you know, leaving that place. It could be. Depends on what's going on in your career. Like if you really like it there, the people, because I mean, there's a lot of anxiety and a lot of worrying. And, you know, there is like the sense of like, I don't want to do this anymore. That's why I think it could have something to do with where you work. Maybe, you know, you need to move to, you know, kind of a different field as far as what you're doing. And this very well could be, you know, what you need to confront. Okay, so let me get a few more from the confirmation deck. Any changes coming up for Naline's finances? 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 Any changes coming up? Any changes coming up for Naline's finances? Any changes coming up for Naline's finances? Any changes Alright, so let's see what comes up here. I just realized the bottom of the deck, you've got the Knight of Pentacles, which again, you have this card right there. Slow progress, slow movement, but I feel like this depends on you. Any changes coming up for Naline's finances? You've got the Ten of Pentacles, which is definitely its financial stability, even wealth. You've got the Five of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles, which is the work card. So, I mean, there's definitely, and again, it's more than one card because you do have financial stability here. This is a card of like being, you know, having a firm foundation as far as your finances. And then you got something like the Ten of Pentacles, which this is a card of wealth. Not that, you know, I guess you could, you know, end up being a millionaire, but the Ten of Pentacles is just financial stability, financial legacy that you can pass on to your children. You know, but there is conflict here. There's an issue. You have the Five of Wands, which ties in with the Seven of Wands. There is some type of problem. The Five of Wands could be that you need to, you know, you're struggling with something, and, you know, if the work card is here, it could be that maybe there has to be a change in what you're doing, or maybe it's not like the company, it could, or the position. It could be that, you know, maybe there has to be a change as far as a pay increase or something like that. It depends what's going on at your work, because I mean, there is some type of conflict. I mean, Two of Swords and Five of Wands, like there's some problem around your finances. Like there's stuck energy, and, you know, it's like you're struggling with something here. It very well could be that, you know, maybe it's time for a new job. This actually is the work card. It could also be that there's a need to work on, you know, kind of increasing your finances. I feel like there is a change. I mean, you had the Eight of Wands jump, didn't come up again, but now you have, you know, you have two Knights, and there's like a whole new path for you as far as your finances. But, you know, this is all in perfect timing. I feel like there will be a change to your finances. Okay, you want to know if there's any kind of change coming as far as your relationship status. So let's look at that one next. I'm going to use a different deck. Okay, I'm going to use this one right here. Okay, any changes coming up as far as Naline's relationship status? Any changes coming up as far as Naline's relationship status? Any changes coming up as far as Naline's relationship status? Any changes coming up as far as Naline's relationship status? Any changes coming up as far as Naline's relationship status? Hold on just a second. Sorry about that. I heard something strange outside my house. I just had to look out the window. I didn't want it to be distracting me. Any changes coming up to Naline's relationship status? Any changes coming up to Naline's relationship status? Any changes coming up to Naline's relationship status? Any changes coming up as far as Naline's relationship status? Any changes coming up as far as Naline's relationship status? Okay, so let's cut the deck. Any changes coming up as far as Naline's relationship status? Okay, so this is what we have. I'm not sure if you've been focusing on an ex, because there are several cards that are kind of telling me that. I mean, you've got the Justice card, which this tells me that, you know, things have not been fair to you. You've been done wrong. There is unhappiness around it. And you also have the World, which is the need for closure, and you need to close the door to the past. Ironically, the past is lined up with the World. You've got the Six of Cups. I also see you here. Again, the past is here, the Six of Cups. I see you as a Scorpio. You are side by side with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So I don't know if you have an ex who is, or maybe someone currently in your life who is an earth sign. I see you lined up here with an earth sign, but this seems like maybe something from the past. Although the Six of Cups is also, you know, a soulmate card. You know, but there is a sense of unhappiness here with the Four of Cups. Just feeling empty, unhappy, unfulfilled, bored. You're being told to trust your intuition as far as your relationship status. Again, I feel like, you know, you've not, with the Justice card, it can represent the sign of Libra, but Justice is saying things have not been fair to you. You've not gotten what you deserve, but you can. I just feel like you need to move on. You have the World, which is saying you need to close the door to the past, because, I mean, the past is like literally lined up with the World. You do have a soulmate right in the center of the reading, the Two of Cups, a true soulmate card. I think it also came up in the last spread about your finances. The Two of Cups is someone you have a very special bond with. I just feel like this is a successful, because you have the Six of Wands, a successful soulmate relationship coming in for you. This is victory. The victory happens when you move on, when you're ready to open a new door, close the door of the past, when you have closure, because there is a sense of, you know, feeling kind of unhappy, unfulfilled. I don't know if there's somebody current in your life, but if there is, it could be that your intuition is telling you to move on, that maybe this is not what you deserve. You can do better. Again, I see you here with someone else, an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. This seems to be someone from the past, but let me confirm that for you. Why has the King of Pentacles come up for Naline? Is this someone from her past? Is this someone new? What does this King of Pentacles represent for Naline? Yeah, I mean, you have 3 sixes in this reading now. If you look here, the Lovers is a 6. You have the Six of Wands, the Six of Cups, and the sixes do represent balance and harmony. So I feel like something's out of balance as far as your love life. In some decks, even the Justice card is called balance. Like something's out of balance. Maybe someone has not been treating you right, and it's time for you to close that chapter. I mean, I feel like this is someone new. The Lovers represents like a significant relationship, a relationship that you want very much. Again, now you have the Lovers and the Soulmate card. All you need now is the Empress. You get the Empress in the next 3 cards, then, or confirmation deck, that, you know, this is like the one for you. But this already seems like the one. I mean, this is connected to an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. It could be that this person, I mean, they're, oops, sorry about that. They're really close to you. But it could be that someone from the past is getting in the way. So if there's an ex, or you're with someone now and, you know, you're just not being treated fairly. Again, there's so many sixes. The Lovers is the 6, the Six of Wands, the Six of Cups. Something's out of balance as far as your love life. But there is a soulmate here. Okay, let me get 3 more. Any changes coming for Naline's relationship status? Any changes coming up for her? We've got the Emperor, the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, the Nine of Cups, this is wish fulfillment. This is you also being extremely happy, getting what you want. There's a new relationship here. The Ace of Pentacles is a new beginning with a lot of happiness, a lot of blessings. It is a new person. But you are being told here that, you know, you have to really take control. Like, you have to take control of your love life. You have to be in the driver's seat. You have these 2 4s lined up here. The Four of Cups and the Emperor is a 4. And the 4s do represent stability and a firm foundation. Like, you need a sense of stability. I feel like maybe there's been someone from the past that's maybe not giving you stability, not treated you the way that you deserve. And that's why there's all these 6s here, saying that something's out of balance. I feel like, you know, there's an earth sign around you who's very close to you, but you may have to choose between the earth sign and someone from the past. Okay, let me get a few from the confirmation deck. Are there any changes coming up for Naline's relationship status? Any changes as far as Naline's relationship status? Any changes coming up as far as Naline's relationship status? I also realize that you have, you know, the High Priestess is a 2 and the 2 of Cups. That is a choice between perhaps 2 people, 2 outcomes. Any changes coming up as far as Naline's relationship status? Any changes coming up as far as Naline's relationship status? Any changes coming up as far as Naline's relationship status? Okay. I just looked at the bottom of the deck and look at this. You've got the Ten of Swords, which the Ten of Swords is saying it's time to move on. It's time to move on for something painful, and that's kind of, you know, what I was getting from here. I mean, even the Justice card in the World It's time to move on from betrayal or from someone who deeply hurt you. Any changes coming up as far as Naline's relationship status? We've got the Three of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. So, I mean, the Queen of Wands could definitely be maybe someone else, because, I mean, you've got an earth sign here. Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. This would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But in the last reading, or in the last spread, you came up as a fire sign as well. And this is the need to just, like, take the lead. It's the same energy as the Emperor. It's like, as far as your love life, there's a need to, like, really take control. Be in control of your love life. I feel like you need to leave the past behind you. Let me get a confirmation card for her. What does the Queen of Wands represent for Naline's love life? What does this have to do with her relationship status? Is it her, or is it somebody new who's coming in for her? The past. Because, I mean, the past is already here. So, I mean, I don't think the Queen of Wands is someone new. I think it's either someone from the past, if you have an ex who is a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or it's taking the lead. Again, same energy as the Emperor right there. There's a need to do something because it's lined up with you. You're the Scorpio, so you are the King of Cups. There's a need to take control. I mean, the Queen of Wands is all about taking action, making things happen. You have all this with the Three of Pentacles. This is, you know, really giving it your all. I feel like there's a need to really look at your love life very carefully. Get closure as far as anyone from the past. If someone has not been treating you right, whether this person is from the past, it's time to really move on from that. The World, the Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck. If it's someone who's currently in your life, it's time to really acknowledge it's time to move on. There's definitely, I mean, a new person here, a soulmate, true soulmate, because the confirmation for the King of Pentacles was the Lovers, but I feel like there's a need to let the past go. Okay, so the next question you want to know as far as any changes in your employment or any advancement changes. So let's go ahead and look at that. Okay, and I'm going to use this deck right here. Okay, are there any changes in Naline's employment or any advancement changes coming up for her? Are there any changes coming up in Naline's? A card fell out of the deck. Let me just show you what it is here. It's the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands, I mean, you've had the Queen of Wands quite a few times. I mean, they came up in both spreads. It was either the King or the Queen. The Knight of Wands is, you know, kind of pushy energy. It could be that maybe you have to kind of like really get out there and make it known that you want changes in your career, or that, you know what, you want to, you know, move up the corporate ladder. The Knight of Wands is going after what you want and refusing to give up. Okay, so put that back there. Are there any changes as far as Naline's employment or any advancement changes coming up for her? Are there any changes coming up in Naline's employment or any advancement changes coming up for her? Are there any changes coming up as far as Naline's employment or any advancement changes coming up for her? Are there any changes coming up as far as Naline's employment or any advancement changes coming up for her? Are there any employment changes or any advancement changes coming up for Naline? Are there any employment changes or advancement changes coming up for Naline? Are there any employment changes or advancement changes coming up for Naline? Are there any employment changes or any advancement changes coming up for Naline? Okay, let's see what comes up here. Any employment changes or advancement changes coming up for Naline? Okay, so this is what you have. Kind of a weird message, because I mean, I'm asking about your career here, and there's a lot of kind of emotional energy. You got the Two of Cups, the Three of Cups, the Nine of Cups, the Moon. So I'm not sure, like maybe like perhaps there's a lot of emotional energy because maybe you're not really liking what you're doing, or maybe you don't like where you work. The first card is actually the Page of Swords, which means that there's a need to be completely honest. This is being completely, not just honest, but to the point where you're completely blunt, like, you know, telling someone, I don't like working here anymore, or I'm not happy with my job. It's that kind of energy. You have the King of Swords, which would be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. I don't know if this could be your boss or somebody at work, but I mean, since it's with the Hermit here, this is soul searching, and I feel like, you know, the message is you have a lot of thinking to do as far as your career, any changes in your employment. I feel like there will be a change, but I feel like it's something that comes from you, from being completely honest, either with yourself or perhaps with your boss, the company that you work for. There's waiting involved. You have the Two of Wands. There's a delay. There's a delay as far as, you know, something changing. This is something changing. The Three of Cups is a celebration. This is you being extremely happy. And again, when you have the Two of Cups, when it's not love, the Two of Cups is being in a really good place. This is, you know, being in a place of harmony. So again, since it came up when I asked about your finances. Now it's come up. Actually, it came up in all three spreads. But again, I'm not asking about love. So is something like, do you feel like there is a lack of harmony at work? That could be why it keeps coming up. Either because of people around you, or maybe there's a lack of harmony because you're just, you know, you're not happy with what you're doing. There's waiting as far as a change in your employment status. I mean, you've got the Seven of Coins here. I mean, when I saw this, I feel like there are options as far as like another career. The Seven of Coins is literally a card telling you that you really need the time to sit down and weigh the pros and cons. I feel like this is staying where you are now. You really need time to think. You have other options. Again, this is the ultimate card for me of like, you know, that there are other paths for you. And that came up for you with the Ace of Wands in the first spread when I asked about your finances. You have the Moon here. I mean, the Moon is confusing energy. It's a lack of clarity. Looks are deceiving. Things are not as they seem. It could be maybe you feel like I don't have any other options as far as my career, but you do. Again, with the Moon, it's like, you know, there's a lack of clarity, and things are not as they seem. You're not seeing the truth. This is, you know, could be deceit, and the truth. There's a need to be completely honest. So if you're not happy with what you're doing, it could be maybe it's time to kind of get out of that situation. I mean, you have the Nine of Cups here, which is, you know, wish fulfillment. You're getting what you want. And again, this is, you know, right. It came right after the Three of Cups, which is a celebration. So there is change around your, you know, your career. There is change around your employment. But it's like, you know, there's a delay around this. Part of this is because you have a lot of thinking to do, a lot of soul searching. I feel from the cards that I feel like you're being pushed somewhere else. And maybe, you know, if you go back and you watch the spread about your finances, that could be why you had the Two of Swords, a difficult decision, maybe, you know, as far as leaving. It could be that maybe, you know, you don't want to see this, I mean, with the Moon, or you don't want to hear it. I know it's hard to leave, you know, what you're doing and start over somewhere, you know, somewhere else, doing something completely different. It's just, I mean, you're being told here that you have options. Let me get 3 more. Are there any changes coming up as far as Naline's employment or any advancement changes? Wow. So now you have the King and the Queen of Swords. So again, that would be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. It could be you if you have a Moon or Rising, but I mean, I feel like this is telling you the King and the Queen of Swords, they represent thinking. And you have the Hermit there telling you to do the same thing. You have a lot of soul searching to do when it comes to your career. The Chariot, that is, you know, big changes in your career, big movement. Yeah, my goodness. Look, you have the Eight of Cups. This is the goodbye card. This is choosing to move on from something that is no longer making you happy. You know, and that's kind of, you know, what you're being told here. You have options. You have options so that you can be happy. This is happiness. You have 2 and 3 of Cups right next to each other. This is a celebration. This is you feeling overjoyed. There's, you know, a sense of harmony again. There's a need to kind of leave behind a situation that's not making you happy. Yeah, there is, you know, there is a big change around your career. I feel like it's around, like, not just it's not advancement. That's not what I'm getting. I feel like it's like a totally different environment. The Chariot is big movement. This is the ultimate card of big changes, movement, victory. But you have a lot of thinking to do, soul searching, and there's need to be completely honest. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Page of Swords, King of Swords, Queen of Swords. This is all this is all mental energy in your head, thinking. Again, the King and the Queen of Swords, they analyze. They're very logical, rational. There's a need to do that so that you can really kind of end up with the job that you deserve. Okay, let me get a few from the confirmation deck. Are there any changes coming up as far as Naline's employment or any advancement changes coming up for her? Are there any changes coming up to Naline's employment or any advancement changes coming up for her? Are there any changes coming up as far as Naline's employment or any advancement changes coming up for her? Are there any changes coming up as far as Naline's employment or any advancement changes coming up for her? At the bottom of the deck, you've got the Sun, which is the most positive card in the deck. Success, positive energy, happiness. Okay, are there any changes coming up as far as Naline's employment or any advancement changes? And I just realized that, I mean, you have the twos here again. Two of Wands, Two of Cups, that there is a choice. The twos represent a choice, but you also have choices and options here with the Seven of Pentacles. Ten of Wands. Ten of Cups. Four of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, the tens, and you've got two lined up here. The tens represent endings. Something has gone as far as it can go. So it could be that, you know, it's maybe time to move on from that. Because the Ten of Wands does mean that maybe you're fed up with something. You're tired. You're exhausted. You're tired of trying. But there is a lot of happiness as far as your career. You have the Ten of Cups, which is being in a very good emotional place. A happily ever after. A happy ending to the situation. But I see you holding on here. You've got the Four of Pentacles, which is playing it safe. So, I mean, I feel like the cards are trying to push you out of your comfort zone. Big changes here with the Chariot. But first, you need to kind of leave behind a situation that's not making you happy. I feel like it's not, unless you feel really strongly that it is. I don't think it's advancement changes. I think it's like an employment change. Again, it's like something big because you have the Hermit, which is a major arcana. You have a lot of thinking to do, a lot of soul searching to see the truth. Because with the Moon, it's very confusing and you don't see the truth. There's things you don't want to see. Again, you have a lot of thinking to do and you have other options here. And this is telling you take your time looking at all of your options, but it's like you're being told by the cards that there's something like you need to leave this behind, something that maybe the specific job that you're doing or the company or the place is not making you happy. I see you kind of tired here, tired of trying, exhausted, maybe a lot on your plate, but there is a happy place for you, but this only comes when you get out of your comfort zone and you stop holding on. The Four of Pentacles is holding on really tight to something out of fear. Okay, Naline, this has been your 30-minute reading. Hope this helps you, and thanks for watching.